Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I'm the Gentleman, this is the Gentleman's Pixel Club, and this is another high score challenge. The rules are simple. On one game, we have to get a high score. We then play a second game and we have to beat the high score of the first game. If we do, we then play a third game and beat the high score we just got. If we don't, it's game over, and we continue this loop until we no longer get a high score. And today's challenge is playing Chopper Command. Chopper Command was released on the Atari 2600 39 years ago, if you're watching this in 2021, and we're recreating it on the MiSTer FPGA, a great piece of hardware if you want brilliant recreations of the physical hardware under the FPGA system. This game was a unique game to me at the time of finding this, which was probably about 4 or 5 months ago when I first started playing with the MiSTer FPGA. I had not seen this before and it reminded me very much of Defender. A little bit of research into this game showed that it had a great competition that went with us, and basically what you had to do was score over 10,000 points, which we will be trying to do on our high score challenge. If you did, you took a photo of your TV back then and you sent it off to Activision, in which they would send you something rather special. So they sent you a letter if you did this. Dear Chopper Command Pilot, congratulations. Your impressive score of 10,000 or more points on the cadet level shows courage and determination. Activision is honoured to bestow the rank of Commando on you, and your insignia is enclosed. The insignia was this little patch that you can see on the screen now. You could iron it onto your clothes, do whatever you want with it. And they also added your name to a club list, and they kept you informed of new Activision game cartridges as they came out. This was a really good marketing ploy to actually get kids involved to play the games or want to beat the games. And then they found out about new games so Activision could sell them more, or sell their parents more who would be buying it for the kids. Anyway, enough of me rattling on about what they did to get your money back then. We're going to play the game, and remember, we're going to go for the high score challenge and we're going to do our absolute best to beat 10,000 points on our first playthrough. We've just started the game, and this reminded me very much of Defender when I first saw it. I first discovered this when I was flicking through all the systems on the MiSTer FPGA to see what it could do, and this was the first game I loaded up for the Atari 2600. It was purely at random, and I absolutely fell in love with what I was looking at then. As I say, Defender very much in the spirit of things, but a very different game in terms of what you had to do. We were no longer in space, we were in some country, and we had to defend the convoy of trucks. You have a little radar at the bottom, and you've got 3 trucks, the little blips there, and then above each truck you had waves of enemies. These were helicopters and these were planes, and I've just died there. But if I don't die and you complete each wave of these helicopters and planes that you have, eventually you get a bonus and you move on to the next level. I played this a fair bit when I first discovered it, and I was absolutely rubbish at it. But I did a little bit of research, and the head designer of this game, Bob Whitehead, says although the game is a very strategic game and that you have to have quick reflexes, which I don't have many of, he gave a great tip. The trucks always approach the screen from the left, which means you can hang about on the left hand side of the screen and hopefully kill all the planes and all the trucks. I've just died then, so that was another failure, but it should make your life a little bit easier. I'm struggling at the moment, as you can see me playing this. You know, they're like angry wasps, these planes. They turn on a hairpin, and you know, they are a real pain in the neck to kill. I'm shooting above them, below them, but not necessarily in the right points. And when you watch the bombs for these planes, what they drop a bomb that kind of bounces up in the air and down in the air, so it can kill you, and it can also blow up a truck at the same time. And you know, there's no rhyme or rhythm. They turn on a hairpin, and you know, you've got to be so lucky in some levels to actually kill them. I was lucky then to survive that little swarm, and I much prefer battling the helicopters rather than the planes. And look at this, on our first go we have scored over 10,000 points. I don't know whether I'm playing on cadet level. I can only assume that I am, because this is level 1 of the game that I loaded, and we're going to have another go. So we have to beat 11,100 points, and this is our second attempt at doing this. Remember, if we fail, it's game over, video over. If we succeed, we will then try a third time to do this. So yeah, I think I'm playing at cadet level. Cadet sounds the lowest to me, and I guess cadet does equal level 1. So to all intents and purposes, on the gameplay that I just did, I beat 10,000 points and I won myself a patch from Activision. We won't be writing to them, they won't be very impressed, and we know they're going to ignore the letter, but you know what, for a little fun and giggles, it might be worth doing that, but I'm certainly not going to do it. You can load up an emulator yourself and send them a letter demanding your patch and see what you get, see what they do today. This game is hard, there was some difficulties, playing this. Those blue planes, that they are a real pain to get, and they seem to turn left and right with no pattern. It seems to be random in some respects. The helicopters are much easier, and if I was to look at this game without knowing the name of the game, without knowing what it was called, I would actually probably tell you I think you're playing Airwolf. Airwolf was a helicopter. It was a TV show back in the 80s, and it was a helicopter that had supreme power above all other helicopters. It was really high spec, really high tech, if I recall correctly from the show. And this is what we're playing here. We're shooting planes down, we're shooting helicopters down, and although they've got silly little missiles that do quite a good job in killing me, I have what appears to be a laser that just cuts through them if I can manage to hit anything. It's like trying to shoot fish in a barrel here. Once in a while I'll get something, but usually miss. And if I don't do that, I will fly into a plane. So 8,600. I think we've got one plane left to kill, and if we do, we will then perhaps beat 10,000 points. So we've got a few more things to get to beat. I think it was 11,600, but we're certainly well on our way to do this. If I owned this game back in the day, would I play it a lot? Hell, I would play it a lot. I probably wouldn't have been aware of the tip from Bob Whitehead, who was the head designer that did release a tip on this, which I did some research for. We never had the internet back then or anything else like this, but would I play it? Yeah, I would. It's great. So 200 more points is needed to beat our last high score. Then we will absolutely get a third game on this. This is, at the time of recording, the second game, so we're going to get a third game now, 11,900, and we're on our last life. Yeah, this is the second game that I've done. The first one was River Raid on the Atari 2600, and that was a great game. And this too was a great game. Yes, there was a lot of crap that came out. Everybody knows the story about E.T. and everything tied in this into that. But there are some good games, and this is one of them. Although I've died 15,600 points, so not an easy score to beat. That's absolutely not an easy score to beat. So here we are, credit 3 on the high score challenge. Again, I have to get above 15,000 points now, and I've lost a life already, and I'm not doing particularly well. When I was playing this, it felt like my reflexes were just completely shot after playing the first game. I do like the sunset in the background, I do like the graphics on this for such a primitive system, that they've done really well. Everything is clearly identifiable as what it should be. I just need better skills on this third playthrough. I'm effectively on my last life with a lot to aim for here. That plane I managed to just avoid, and the difficulty, I haven't got over getting past where I got on the previous level, and I'm really not coping with this difficulty too well. I'm missing things, although I got that plane, I'm missing things that historically I've got quite easy, and the helicopters, thank God, they're a breath of fresh air. But yeah, the planes, I had all kinds of difficulty with right at the beginning. So let's just see how this pans out. There's another wave to kill, 2 left, 1 left from it, and 6,000 points. So I've got to get through this wave. I've got to get, and I died. I was going to say I've got to get 10,000 points because you get an extra life. But anyway, I'm the Gentleman, this is the Gentleman's Pixel Club, and I hope you've enjoyed this video and this high score challenge. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Goodbye.